of you. This side Dr. Pankaj Mishra. Today we are arranging this session for your coursework examination point of view. And within a week, you people will going to be attend your coursework examination, and it is very important for your future endeavor in your PhD. Okay. So it has, as you can see here, this is the something Mansoor Global University's holds coursework guidelines that you can see. I hope you already aware about all those things. My voice is not clear.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
It's clear now. Okay. So things that you have, I hope you people are aware, or I have to explain these things. Hmm? Like what are the credit you have to be score? That's what is the requirement for your work. Is there any doubt in this, you people? If you have clear all things, then I directly jump on the syllabus. Anybody? Things are clear to all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
it's
Yes,
clear.
clear,
Clear?
sir.
Okay. So I do not require to explain these things. So here you have coursework having the two parts that you have to understand very clearly. Part one is the research methodology, and while part two is your computer. Sorry, in part one there are the two subjects. PhD 101, that is research methodology. It is a compulsory subject that you have to appear. It will be your written examination that consists of two type of questions. One is the explanatory questions, and second type of objective questions. Okay, in this section, the research methodology. Here in research methodology, total credit that you have to score are the four. Okay, the in this which you have to actually minimum marks that you have for to make it clear you require 30 marks. That sorry, for internal they are giving the 30 marks. You have to clear 30 marks here in your external examination, yeah, for your writing examination. The second part that you have to be second subject that you will be faced over there, that is the computer application in research. Both subjects are very important point of view from your research point of view, because in your journey of your PhD, it will be very required thing that you people understand what is research, how to conduct a research, what are the parameters, what are the significance of particular research methodologies and all that you have to understand in this section. It basically teach you how to do research and what we have to consider while we are selecting our title and other things. Okay, it also include how to what is literature survey, what are the methods involved in literature survey, then what is the sampling, what is the experimental method, what types of research, whether it is a quantitative research, applied research, etc. Everything comes under the research methodology. Now, under the computer application in research, now in the present day, there is not a single branch, whether it is arts, commerce, management, science, even the computer science, engineering, whatsoever your branch, even Hindi, English, anything, you require how to use computer. You need computer skills. Okay, if you do not have computer skill, you people face lots of problems, because without computer in present era nothing will be happen. You basically know about what are the basic applications like Microsoft Office, like in that Microsoft Word, PowerPoint presentation, plus your Excel and advanced Excel. These things are comes under the umbrella of computer applications and in research. While if you go beyond these basic knowledge of computer, then it's come for the computer science students or engineering student or science student, where they are using this system for different type of experimentation, analysis, and simulation and other things. While for a basic person who is doing their research in arts, in commerce, they required computers for just prepare their thesis, for presenting their work, for arrange everything proper manner. For they definitely require computer. Without computer, you people will not think what exactly thinking. For that, the basic knowledge of computer will be checked here, and it has the same credit and same score as your in PhD 101 research method. Next thing is there, the part two of your coursework. The part two of your coursework, there are again two subjects. One is the research, publication, and ethics. Basically, when you go for you submission your degree or submission your thesis, before that you required to publish at least two paper and you have to attend two conference. What? Excuse me. Yes, Savita. Yes, Savita ma'am. Do you have any problem during your submission? Savita ma'am, you want to ask something or mute yourself? In research publication and ethics, in research publication ethics, basically you will learn how to prepare a paper, how to write a paper, how to prepare for conference paper, and what we have to think, and what are the ethics are required. Same way, what are the writing ethics and what are research ethics involved for your PhD research? Those things will be discussed in this chapter, and with very ethical things will be discussion over here. And after this, the last thing is that is your literature review. It is not a written examination will be there. No written examination. For this, you have to prepare a 10 to 20 page literature review based on your title or based on your area in which you want to research. So here for you will have to face three papers or three subjective paper one, two, and three. That is research methodology, computer application and research, and research publication ethics. While the fourth one is the submission part, in which you will prepare a research literature review of any of given topic in which you are comfortable. You have to conduct a complete survey and put write in a form of simple booklet or in at least 20 pages maybe there that you have to submit in your university in any prescribed form. So by this, you will earn total 16 credit that is required for your PhD. Now move ahead. Now the research methodology. Now come to your first subject that is research methodology. This research methodology consists of first subject or the first unit. There is a basic overview. This you will going to be discussed about the meaning, significance, and types of research, steps in research, procedure of scientific research, identification and selection of research problem, defining the research problem, review of literature, need and procedure, research design format, and hypothesis. This is another section over here. Need and the procedure of formulate the hypothesis. Here, the two sections are basically here. I can divide from here. One is the basics of research in its overview, and second part is the hypothesis. Okay. We will discuss everything in very prompt manner in a very short. I will explain you each and everything what is in your first unit. And today we will cover your first unit completely, and so that you people will be able to write it properly during your examination. Okay. And meanwhile, we are also preparing the material for you, in which we will give you all definitions and summary of each unit that you people received within a 2 3 days. That's the sample I also demonstrate you at the end of this session. The next unit that you have to cover after overview, that is the sampling. Okay, what is sampling? What are the concept of sampling? What is the need of sampling? Sampling is something that is required for every branch, whether it is engineering, science, and something. Method of sampling, method of collecting data will be differ, but the basic concept will remain same. Under this, we will learn what are the sampling methods, what are the criteria of these, what are the metrics of sampling, and then measurements in the research, indicators, what are the types of indicators, then selections of indicators, selection of statistical method, Whenever you have collect the data, you require to represent them. Then for that, what methods and what representation graphical arrangement we require, we will discuss here. After getting this, after we have a sampling set, we have knowledge about what the sample and how we have to proceed with this. We need to know how to arrange the data. Now, in sample chapter number 3, we will discuss completely about the method of collection of data. Once we select the population, once we select the sample size and all, then we start to data collection. So for that, there are various types of method available. For that, the nature, need, and significance of data collection, source in data, in the geography, types of data, method of fieldwork, methodology, tools of data collection, observation, questionnaire, etc. These things and tabulation and data representation, processing of data. Okay, these things we will learn in chapter number 3 or say unit number 3. And unit number 4, we will go for the next step, that is the most important thing, that is the analysis of the data. Okay, the analysis of data is basically when you write your thesis, you have lots of data, lots of material with you, but the problem is what, how to interpret what exactly we want to show during our research. For that, you learn how to analyze the data. In this particular part, we will learn what are the analysis method, what are the software which we are using, what are the computer technology, what are the methodology that help us to analyze the data. It includes the arrangement of data, segregation of data, filtration of data, then validation of data. All those things comes under the analysis of data. After doing this, we are going to be the report writing. That is the final part of your final part of your research methodology. This means, if I say report writing means how to prepare your thesis, what
Within a
content and
computer profile, assignment to daily person.
sir, your voice is not coming
Yes,
properly.
yes. Mhm.
Hello,
Oh,
hello.
yeah. Okay.
Excuse me. Do you have any questions? I'm not able to hear you properly. If you have any problem, please ask me. Okay, no issue. The last unit is very important unit. That is report writing. Now, basically, what people shows, what exactly the thing that in your hand, always you find a book, finally published book, but you do not aware about what was the procedure the author or the researchers may had adopted for developing that particular journal or that particular book or that particular thesis or dissertation. What are the sections in a particular thesis, what are the method of writing, what is the particular series of writing, what is the chapter, how to do the chapterization, how to create the tables, how to create the figures, how we numbers them, how we give the citations, how to write the references and all. These all things comes under the umbrella of report writing. Here you will learn what are the steps of research writing or report writing, what particular formatting you have to use. Every university or institution had defined their own methods. You have, by this method you have to write your complete thesis work, what font size should be there, what will be their certification type, what are the different plagiarism and further things will be, and their certifications, they all involve in this report writing section. And you can follow these books. I will provide you this Kothari CR book. I will share with Ritu ma'am. She will share with you all people in a soft copy. You can refer this book for your further study. Okay, you can keep this book for your uh, other part of your study. It is very beautiful book that I book, provide you in a soft copy. The next subject, as I told you, there is the computer application in research. First chapter in is this, that is the basics of computer. If I say basics of computer, means basic knowledge of a computer, what types of computers there, what are the versions of computers, how computer evolved from a basic from Charles Babbage stage to present status. As you know, the father of computing is known as Charles Babbage, and this from Charles Babbage to in present era, what is the computer change? How it's evolved from the first generation, second generation, third generation. What types of chips and RAM and other things, what are RAM, ROM, and other memory things you will discuss over there. Like that evolution of computer, computer memory, computer generations, basics of computer organizations, what types of systems and software and what are their requirements, how they are runs, what are the application software, what are the operating software, operating systems. You will discuss all those things in this chapter. And further, last part, you will learn about the Microsoft Windows and Linux. These two are the operating systems. In their basics, you require to be represented in your uh, literature, sorry, in your basic examination. You have to write about all those things. We will provide you small notes on these things that will help you out. Unit 2 will cover the data communication and network. What are the communication network and communication aspect are there that are involved in the with respect to the computers that you will learn over here. If you are a computer engineer or basically from the background to the computer, you people will find it's very easy to cover all those things. Everything will be numeric, theoretical part over there. There will be no practical sort of thing in this examination point of view. But it is very important for your research because computer will be your backbone for your whole journey. Now, using the internet for research, how to search papers, how to use e-journals, how to internet connect with your society and communities that you will learn in this thing. Then the unit number 4, introduction to research related software. There are lots of software which are useful for the research. You will get a glimpse of software like SPSS. It is software for statistical analysis. Then other software like C, R, and other software you will discuss over here and how they are used. What are the other software like Microsoft Excel and other things that you will discuss here. Now, last unit, that is unit of 5, where you will go with the MS Office and its application. Okay, and you just learn. If you are not able to work over computer, please learn computer. These all things like basic Microsoft Office and Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and PowerPoint. These three tools you have to learn so that in the end, when you are going for the presentation in front of your examiner, you will not fumble in front of them. You have to learn how to represent your thing to your examiners and your teachers. For this computer tools, MS Office, MS Excel, and PowerPoint will be very useful. Okay. Now the research publication and ethics. Then the philosophy of and ethics, the first unit. Then the scientific conduct, what are the process we have to follow. Then the publication ethics, various types of publication norms and their styles that we have to study here. Okay. Now the literature review, where you have to write a literature survey from the last 10-year published paper with regard to your subject area. This is something about your syllabus that you have to cover in your written examination at the Center Mansarovar Global University. I hope that is clear to all of you. Now we will start with the first subject, that is the research methodology. My screen is visible. My screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, here we will discuss your first chapter, that is the research methodology, of research methodology, where we will just give you an overview about your what is the research, what are the research problems, and how to identify and hypothesis formulations. Some glimpse over the literature review, steps, and procedure of doing that we will discuss. Do you have any questions? You can interrupt in between and may ask. Okay, but do it one by one and make it clear and loud so that I can properly understand what exactly you want to listen from my side. Okay, now my first question to you people: what is research methodology and what is research method? Is there any difference in these two things? Or in simple, what is methodology or method? Are these two terms are same or there is some difference? Anybody can say. Anybody, please voluntarily act over here so that it's become a interactive session. No one? What is the difference between methodology and method? You are going to read or discuss about research methodology. Why not research method? The subject name is research methodology. During your PhD, you will listen this word so many times. Your examiner asks you, what is your methodology or what was your method? Yes, please.
Methodology means a particular areas of the study, sir.
Methodology means particular area of study. Anybody else?
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Good
Research
evening.
methodology is the overall approach, like how we conduct the research,
Mhm.
and maybe the research method will be specific, like the experiments we do, or the data collection, or the surveys. The
Yeah,
procedure is the
definitely.
method.
Definitely. We have to follow lots of things during your research journey. But your journey should be systematic and properly defined. Systemization or the systematic the journey is known as methodology means you are going to arrange n number of methods as per your requirement or as per the research requirement. Methods are the short things. Even you can say method to identify research journal from where you want to take data, method of sampling, method of experimentation. These are all methods, but these things must be arranged in a proper and a serial order, in a systematic order. To arrange each and everything that relate to each other and responds to each other is known as research methodology. Now come to again, what is research? What is the meaning of research? What is research? Yeah, what is the meaning of research? As you can see here, I give a very simple definition. Research is a systematic and objective investigation into a specific problem or issue. Again, but this definition start with the term research. And again, there is another word that is investigation. What is the relation between research and investigation?
We do research to investigate something.
To
Research is like
investigate, to do research.
Research is
So
researching
research is
something.
an
Research is an
art of scientific investigation.
art of scientific investigation. Okay, very good. Anything
So
else?
research is researching something, and the another one is we are finding out a new thing.
Yeah, definitely it's right. Basically, what happened? The
research is
word, yes, please. Yes, yes. Okay. Whether it is science or whether it is mythology, you just make it thing very clear. When we are discussing about the research, this words we relate us with the mythology or the concept of God. Okay, I just explain how it is. When you are saying we are doing research, why you are not saying I am doing some search? Because search means identify or the finding something, but it doesn't replicate. It says that you are doing something new, but it is assumed or presumed by the people from ancient times, even from the Latin world. They assume that everything is created by the God, and there is nothing that was not created. Everything is already pre-existed. Okay, if there are everything is pre-existed and somewhere it is hides or somewhere people forget about those things, and because of change of lots of things and lots of revolutions and other method, बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी रही जो छुप गई हैं जो आज हमारे सामने नहीं है और हम मान के चलते हैं these are not actually there, but we mythologically and from the god's perspective we say gods are omniscient. He create everything and he know everything. When the peoples want to know those things and people wants to search those things, so what we are doing the research, repetition of that search that already God had created. Okay, from there this word become, instead of just search or just investigation, it's become research. Again, now come to there, if we are considering a scientific way to, for identifying a problem, to for assist a problem, for understand a particular issue or parameter, if you are doing an investigation with a defined and proper manner or the set of manners, that is known as the research. It is a systematic gaining of the knowledge of particular thing, and it may be anything. Nothing will be like that that you can't do. It may be anything. Okay, it is something systematic investigation or that is already there. I don't say it is discovery because some of the people say we are just discover whatever the word we just want to discover. Discover is a different thing which are existing thing, but research means something may be possible that you are creating new that is not presently available in our course of time, but that God may know about that. That's why the reason this word is become research, repetition of search. Now, here the systematic investigation is the first part, that is the structural approach to conduct and explore the problem. Objective of inquiry means you always have some objective. When you are going to explore anything, there must be some objective. You are not exploring anything for just sake of your interest. No, there must be some objective. Whatever you are doing, if you are saying, sir, I am going and investigate over particular author's work, what was your objective and what is your objective to investigate the particular author's work? There must be an objective that you want to identify what exactly he had written, he had written, right, and what meaning he want to circulate. That people are doing lots of research over Ramayana, Mahabharata, history, and lots of poems and novels in other in the literature. Okay, what they mean, what is their objective to identify the mindset of that author, identify the what the society at that time of when that author write all those things or wrote all those things. That is the basic objective you have to create. If you are doing something, if you want to explore something, if you want to investigate something, it is not just sake of your interest, it must be some objective. Every research is a systematic approach with objective. Now, objective should be unbiased. Is the ethical problem, ethical thing actually. Your objective should be unbiased. You are not your objective not like that. You are doing this particular thing to providing advantage or take any revenge from particular society or particular person. Your objective should be unbiased and they have always some good value for the society. They give some good value for the society. Here, 2 points have to be clear. First, your approach should be structured if you are going for exploration. Second, you have some objectives with that should be unbiased. Next is the knowledge generation. It is the last but foremost thing of your research, that you must know that what the thing you are creating, what the thing you are investigating, what the new thing you are generating, or give some laws and something that brings some new knowledge for the society, for the student, for the world. This means the research means a systematic approach that is unbiased and objective oriented and gives some the knowledgeable input for the society. Now move to the next slide. Significance of research. So if I say what is the significance of research, research is very auspicious thing. I can say it's cover lots of things. It's give you lots of advantage when you are let's give you lots of thing in your life as well. It's not just like PhD degree that you will get after doing this PhD or research. Actually, it's give you a new way of living, new approach toward your life. Okay, it's actually teach you how to identify the problem, how to tackle the problem, how to understand different peoples and their thought process, how to communicate with others, how to set goals, how to make the purpose, how these all things evolve one by one, knowingly, unknowingly, when you are involved in the research. Now I explain how it is. First thing that you people require to understand, if I say significance of research, what exact area where I can do my research. Some of you are from engineering side, some of our arts and humanity side, and जब हम बैठते हैं और ये सोचते हैं कि मुझे क्या रिसर्च करना है, you people are comfortable in Hindi too?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
जब हम कई बार बैठते हैं और ये सोचते हैं कि हमें करना क्या है, even though you had very good learner, you have lots of experience in teaching, you may be possible you have do goods in academics and all, you are good in particular subject, but when we ask you, sir, in which particular line you want to investigate, in which particular line you want to do your research, that is the research area identification. So basically we are miss out the things, we are not able to speak about. This is the first thing. Automatically the identification of your research area become your problem itself. It's become a problem. For that you start communicate with yourself first, then start communicate with your teachers, your colleagues, your partners, your peers. You try to connect with them. Okay, and why it's happened? Because you are curious to know about what exactly research you want to do. Identification of problem from where your research journey gets start, it itself signify the things. Once you identify the problem, your, I say 50% of research work is complete. Now what is the rest thing is rest 50%? To explore and solve that problem. Now how to explore, how to solve, then again, why this problem is so significant or why this problem is relevant. So we have to make a relevancy of our problem. We have to create a context of our problem. We have to identify the final goal that we want to achieve from our research and what supports we will get from other side. And all those things you have to be in club together. We call it the significance of. If I say bookish language, there are the some 4 points that you have to cover. We say if the significance of research. They drive the innovation and discovery. Means it is something that drives you to identify new thing and discover something new thing. Inform the policies and decision making, and it will help your research will in future will help to identify the policies and making decision making things. Now like AI, if you consider artificial intelligence, today is a very big buzzword. बहुत सारा research इसके अंदर हुआ. Lots of people say thousands advantage of this, but few of people are here who are saying that it will be very difficult for future, it will create lots of problem in future. Now it gives these research helps government to create lots of policies that will help to properly manage the AI and this technology for the future, solve the real world problem. Definitely, when we come to the research, and its significance is that if you are solving a real world problem, whether it's a psychological problem, whether it is some engineering problem, there are lots of things that happen, like digital India. Initially, you have to carry lots of cash in your pocket, but in today's case, you do not require to carry single rupees. There is the real world problem that there was always a difficulty. If you have a money in your pocket, there is always a chance of theft. But with this digitalization, you do not require to carry single penny with you. You can move any part of the world without any physical money in your pocket. So this is the solution of a problem. The technology or this research brings lots of solution. Enhance the academic and professional understanding. Definitely, when you go to understand any research problem, you will involve lots of literature. You are going to read lots of material. You will connect with the many people who are doing the research in a similar domain. You are read their work, you want to connect with them. Definitely, it's make a good network. As a result of that, academia will improve and professional understanding definitely get improved. Now, the next thing that people want to know, that is types of research. So here I just want to listen from you people. What do you think? What are the types of research? As I already explained on this slide, but I want to listen from your side. If I say basic research or applied research or quantitative research or qualitative research, what do you understand with this? Yes, please. What is basic research?
It is done to expand the knowledge, body of knowledge of a particular area. Just the aim is to expand the body of knowledge.
Hmm? Your voice is not clear, ma'am.
The aim of basic research is only to expand the body of knowledge of a particular area of interest.
Okay. When we are saying about basic research, it comes from basically already available knowledge, already available research we have. We are doing you have listened about the people are doing lots of work on Einstein work. What the Einstein provide the theories, the people are working on them and try to explain them more and more. That is called basic research. Same way, basic research, particularly if we say sometime it's conducted in the historical and arts and linguistic, it is lots of parts cover in that as well, where the peoples are just want to understand that particular era and particular time, what the history is explaining and what the things was there. Or there may be some extension of old knowledge. It comes under the basic research, where you do not require any experimental evidence. You have to explain everything with the help of theoretical part. But the nature of this type of research is very extensive. If I say if you go for any basic research and you are going to write a thesis for it, it will be more than 500, 600 pages, even though it's maybe 1,000 plus pages. Because if you go for a completely on the base of the previously available knowledge and you want to extend that, you have to prove that knowledge one sentence by the reference of other sentence, and for that you require lots of efforts and lots of literature survey. It is basically oriented toward the more and more literature survey, more and more others authors and others member researchers writing works to be evaluated, and that to be right in a new manner. The second is the applied research. Applied research particularly deal with engineering and science problems. Even though commerce and management students are also doing this applied research, but their angle should their practicality is changed in terms of the say numbers in data, and that can be do with the survey and other techniques. Most of the time when we say the applied research, it falls for the category of engineering science graduates and the science people, where you are tackle the live practical problem. You are facing some problem, you start working over there. If you are facing some problem, definitely other people also face similar things. For that, you provide some solution. For that, you generate some practical model. You take the reference of others and improvise in that particular issue. That is called applied research. For example, you want to research on use of methanol in fuel. It will be fall under the practicality use of methanol or ethanol in your fuel, or making the blend of that. Okay, energy students, mechanical engineering students are doing these type of thing. Okay, they are working over this. Same way, if you are doing some practical issues related, AI related issue, again come under this category, where you are using your LLM model, DNN model, etc. in for your research. Okay. Now come to the qualitative research. What is the qualitative research? These two words are very buzzwords. The qualitative research and quantitative research. And there will be a next term comes from here, that is the mixed research approach, mixed methodology. Anyone?
The qualitative are non-numerical data, and quantitative means numerical data. And mixed method is a combination of both qualitative and quantitative.
Okay, good, very nice. Basically, the word qualitative means you want to know about the quality of particular thing, or you want to know the meaning of particular thing. In terms, what exactly you want to know. Basically, like here explain the purpose is like written here, the understand the meaning and the context. So this context may be vary time to time. You can do research on the same person or same thing again and again, or with a different context. For example, you want to research on Shakespeare. Okay, first context, the femininity, the feminine natures, what the feminine natures or the femininity he has discussed in his novel. That is the one of the context. You want to understand what exactly he did, what his literature suggests about the female. Second context we change. We want to learn about the society or system of society. How he explained that time of society, of that era of society. Next, we can say education and policy of that time. Okay, how he treat different genders. So these are the each and every time you change the context, and you can do the same research on the same person or same item again and again, and that is the possibility have they always available only with the qualitative side of. Otherwise, with the context, if you are changing the context, there are the lots of thing changes in case of the quantitative research, because the parameters are there, variables are there on which it is dependent. Okay. So basically, the qualitative research are the subjective in nature. The students from psychology, students from arts and humanities, literature, even history, the people are most of the time involved in doing this qualitative research. But now these people are also engaged in this quantitative research as well, in the various aspects that they are investigating through the with the help of data and numbers as well. Now, as ma'am explained, the quantitative research is comes with deal with the numbers. When you come to the numbers from where you are getting those numbers and how to arrange those numbers, that is a very difficult thing, and that for that you learn lots of new things. Experimental setup generation, sampling method, all those things comes under those. So here you have to first define a particular objective of your work. Only based of your objective, you can further start to make some hypothesis, and these hypotheses you have to justify it or verify it with the help of the data and the numbers. Okay. Under the quantitative research, you require to deal or explain everything in terms of numbers. whether it is experimental part of things, whether it is the survey part of things, that all fall under this thing. Management peoples, commerce people, even the psychology students, they are dealing with a lots of data. These people are doing this quantitative type of research. So here you can say these are the basic four types of research, and further there are more fragmentation or more section done over this thing, like mixed and fundamental research, then longitudinal research, now explanatory research. These are the part of or things of these basic four types of research. That is your wish, that how much you want to explore it, how much you want to expand it. That's your wish. You can do that. Okay. Like if I say here, I write one is the explanatory research. This explanatory research fall under the basic research. Okay. When I say longitudinal research, again it's fall under the basic research. The fundamental and basic research method, it's again the here on. Now the applied research, that is the applied research, exploratory research, that's come against this umbrella. Then the qualitative research, there's action research. These are the policy oriented research. These are come under the quantitative part. They will come under this section. Okay. Correlation research, that again come in the applied research section. Sorry. After types of research, there is the steps involved in research. I hope you people know about this thing. What are the steps which are involved in any type of any research? First is first and thing is what is the identification of the problem. We start today's lecture from here only. How to identify the problem. The most crucial thing that an investigator or a research person know what exactly its problem, what exactly he want to research, and if he or she is not comfortable in that research area and just pick any randomly pick any topic or randomly pick any area, they will definitely getting frustrated during the journey of their research. They are facing lots of challenges in that particular. Because if you are identifying some area, if you want to research in particular area which you love, you will definitely deliver something good. But if you are just take the sake of completion of your PhD degree, definitely it will not hurdle you during your PhD, even though whole life, because your PhD, many people will ask you about what exactly you did in your PhD, but you didn't love your topic, you didn't love your area, you just complete your work, then you will not able to, you will never be comfortable to explain your result. Otherwise, you will enjoy what exactly you did at the time of your research. Make your journey enjoyable, make your journey remember. So you have to identify or choose that particular area very wisely and that you basically love. Then only you will definitely uh, give the particular respect to your degree as well. I want to earn more respect from them. The first foremost thing, the identification of problem. On the basis of your problem identification, we will jump on the second thing. After identification of problem, we will jump on a second thing, that is the review of it. Now, identification of problem depend upon lots of things. First thing, your UG and PG subject, your specialization. What was your specialization at that time? That will help you out to identify. The what is your favorite subject? What was your favorite subject? Your area, that will help you out to identify your problem or work in which particular direction you want to do. After getting a particular area, once you identify that in this particular subject, I want to do work, then you will start to identify what are the gaps and what are the problems are there. Once you just make simple pictures that you identify problem one, problem two, problem three, or n number of problems from your section or from your subject. Once you identify this, we have n number of problems as you think, not actually present. It's not necessary that those things are actually present. What actually you are thinking? I think there are 10 problems. for example, on particular subject which I love or which where I want to do my work. So whether these 10 problems are existing, whether these 10 problems are handled by others, whether these 10 problems are really worthy. For this, we have to conduct a detailed literature review. Okay. For example, if I say I want to work on a particular AI model for investigating a particular disease or say cancer, I want to help in oncology basically, in the cancer treatment. I want to give some my input using AI. There are a lot of computer vision technologies are available with the help of AI and all, which help to identify the cancer and cancerous cell in the human body. Okay, you do not require to biopsy view with the help of monography only you can do that. But once you identify that you want to address particular disease with the help of AI or computer vision as per your research area, then you have to first investigate that whether some other people are already working over it or not. When you further investigate it on internet, first thing first, when you go on internet, search over your thing, what is in your mind, you will definitely find thousands of thousand literature and material over there. Means you are not alone in this world. Basically, the thinking is there, the thought behind this is what? Once we are think about a problem, we are not alone. If you are done something, we are not alone. There are many people who are think similar as we are. As a result of that, if there are n number of people who are thinking as we are, we have to identify what exactly they are doing and what thing they have already covered. And still, if something remaining, then you will start work over that. First, just identify the area and the associated problems with that, and start a literature review. This literature review, you have to use first. You have to use internet and identify the lots of papers and general articles. You have to go through all the general articles. These general articles help you out. You have to read all those things. They will show you what exactly the things are happening around the globe, around the world, what people are thinking and how they are approaching towards the problem. Here, you will identify first what you will get from here gaps. This literature survey give you a most essential thing that is the what that provide you gap. Once you have gaps in your hand, on the basis of that, you can identify the your finalize your objective. What exact objective on you want to work? What exact problem you want to address? After getting your literature survey, you will able to identify gap and make them in terms of narrate in terms of objective. These are the first two steps. First step, you have just a general idea, just an idea, and with the help of literature review, you have the gap, what exactly you have to do with objective of your work. After getting this, you have to move to the next step, that the formulation of hypothesis. Formulation of hypothesis, sometimes it says that your research required hypothesis or not. Experimental people are saying, I do not require hypothesis, I directly do my research or experimentation. That is possible. For writing purpose, not required. But here, hypothesis means what exactly you are thinking, want to achieve. Maybe possible end of your research journey, you will land that the process you want to adapt, the way you want to do the research, the methodology, the experimental setup you build, what the concept you are thinking in the beginning, that exactly wrong. That means the failure of hypothesis. Basically, hypothesis doesn't mean that you have to justify with the always with the number. Your results is also explain the thing whether your thinking is landing in the right direction or not. So for that, you have to do not required to write it for all subject area. For engineering, it is not required. For management, it is not required. For commerce people, it's not required. But uh, others, arts, humanity peoples have to explain about this thing. Okay. Now, when we come to the formulation of hypothesis, it will lead us to the how to design a process. So, as a result of hypothesis, it will clear that how to approach a problem we start to generate a research design. And these two steps, step number 3 and 4, okay, step number 3 and 4, like the design the robust research plan. This is called, this basically terms as the research methodology that you want to prepare to conduct everything. Even though identification of problem in the review literature is a part of research methodology, but when we are doing the chapterization, these two steps are fall under the research methodology. Okay, because during this section only, the research design section only, what we will do, how to collect the data, how to arrange the data, how to manage the data, how to interpret the data, that we will do in the next section number 5 and 6. Then finally, report findings, or say whatever the finding and interpretation we done with the help of all the process, we will start write it. We start write. Here, if I say the PhD journey in terms of what, once you have the data, you have to interpret the data and then writing the research paper or research journal, and finally you have the proofreading and editing and submission for the final thesis, final viva or proceeding of you. The next thing, the procedure of scientific research. I had covered each and every topic of your first unit. You have to write answer according to what I'm explaining over here in your words. Now, the procedure of scientific research. Initially, when I asked you what is research, someone had explained the scientific way of investigation is known as research. There, here it's come the procedure. What procedure actually it's required? Okay, here you can say it's a start from observation. Okay, and it is in a cyclic process actually. Okay? Based upon your objective, based upon your logical reasoning, based upon your knowledge, based upon anything which you are facing in your life, in your subject, on the basis of that you are making observation. Okay, you observe about some particular phenomena, you observe about some problem, observe about the people, literature, anything. On the basis of your observation, you have some thought process. That thought process take you the next step of hypothesis. That hypothesis means you want to say that it's maybe happen or it's maybe like that. You are not sure, but you are just assume or presume what you can say or what in your mind. That's come to the hypothesis. Now, based upon this hypothesis, address your hypothetical problem to justify your hypothesis. You just design a set of information, a set of process that come under the experimentation part. In this experimentation part, basically, it's maybe the collection of data or the survey. It's maybe the generation of some system. It's maybe the setup of the practical setup. Then you start analyzing. With the help of that, you will find some results. You analyze all the data from whether it's come from the survey or experimentation, and then finally conclude. Again, whatever you conclude that come under the survey, sorry, observation, that observed by somebody else or by yourself. If you are justified, if you are satisfied, you will stop. Otherwise, you will restart the thing, and it has become a circular process. Okay, a non-ending process. So that's why the reason when you come to your supervisor, when you will find that there are the n number of theses and their title are almost similar. Actually, they are just jump one step by step. They are building new thing. In a process of that, the one student, one scholar comes, he solve one particular problem or one identify one particular gap and resolve that. The second scholar come and give the same type of thing, but extension of previous one. So that means there are always a scope of improvement, and this process of observation, hypothesis making, experimentation, and result, and again observation of whatever you had carried out, there is the significant research work will be going on, and you will always having to resolve the problem and getting near and near to the exact what I say optimal solution, toward the optimal solution or the best solution. Now move to the next slide. Identification of research problem. Now the question, there may be a question in your examination what is research problem and how you identify. So this pyramid has explained you how to identify your problem. Your pyramid, you start from point 3, the broad topic. Broad topic, as I explained you earlier, it comes from where? It comes from your academia only. Okay? It comes from your academia only. That means your UG plus PG. From these two things, you will be able to identify the broader area where you want to work. Like if you are a student of science, in 12th, your subject was physics, chemistry, mathematics. After that, in your graduation, you are doing with the physics, like BSc physics, and yeah, so simple BSc with the maths, physics, and mathematics. And then for your masters, you go with the physics. Then your area become physics. Under physics, there are lots of things, and under physics, you come to the quantum mechanics only. That is the quantum mechanics become your base. Under quantum mechanics, now what exactly you want to do? That's become the your first thing. Now we have to start narrowing the thing. You will narrow down your thing. You have to come more near and near to your topic. You can take anybody from you want to voluntarily explain about their topic generation, how they want to generate their topic. Anybody from any subject area. We will discuss on that. That will give the more appropriate picture. Anyone who want to participate? We identify the area of research for anyone. Nobody? सबको पता है पहले से. अरुणिमा जी. Well, yes. Anybody? ET? Harsh? मोहम्मद रफी साहब. Nisha. Lot of people join without their name.
Shubham Divekar ही.
Yes. Priya. Savita. Shweta. Sunil. Umesh. Nobody want to participate. Hmm? बलवंत स्वामी जी. एडवोकेट MG साहब. आप लोग सब PhD करने जा रहे हो पर पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करना चाहते. हम्म. कोई भी एक. फहीम. फहीम अब्दुल वहाब.
सर मेरा रिसर्च है फार्मेसी के
हम
अंदर.
बिल्कुल जीरो से चालू करेंगे फहीम जी.
जी.
ओके. हम पहले बात कर रहे हैं हमारा स्टेज 3 या बेस पे हम बात कर रहे हैं इस पिरामिड के. वी आर ऑन द बेस ऑफ दिस पिरामिड वेयर वी आर डिस्कसिंग द ब्रॉड टॉपिक. हाउ टू जनरेट ब्रॉड टॉपिक. आई वांट टू नो योर पीजी. आपने पीजी काय में किया है?
फार्मास्यूटिकल एनालिसिस, मास्टर ऑफ
यू आर
फार्मेसी.
इन द फार्मास्यूटिकल एनालिसिस. फार्मा से हैं आप.
जी.
ओके. अंडर फार्मास्यूटिकल एनालिसिस व्हाट वाज योर फेवरेट सब्जेक्ट?
In pharmaceutical analysis, we studied about modern pharmaceutical analysis subject.
Okay, modern
Pharmaceutical analysis.
pharmaceutical analysis. चलिए
Basically, it is upon techniques.
टेक्निक्स के ऊपर हम बात करें।
जी जी।
अब हम इसको आगे अगर बढ़ाते हैं, इसको नैरो करते हैं, तो हम किस पर्टिकुलर टेक्निक के लिए बात करना चाह रहे हैं, किस पर्टिकुलर ड्रग के लिए बात करना चाह रहे हैं।
जो भी नया ड्रग, न्यू मॉलिक्यूल ऑफ ड्रग, उसके ऊपर रिसर्च वर्क के लिए जो टेक्निक्स चाहिए, फॉर एग्जांपल HPLC बल्कि एक टेक्निक आता है, हाई परफॉर्मेंस लिक्विड क्रोमेटोग्राफी।
HPLC, I picked the HPLC.
Okay.
HPLC for new drug.
Yes.
Now we more narrow down this thing. Now give me the name of that particular drug.
Naltrexone.
Spell out.
Naltrexone. NALTREXONE.
NALTREXONE. So now your topic will become, or area will become, HPLC, use of HPLC technique over investigation of naltrexone drug. Okay, that's become a specific issue. By this way, when we start from an initial base point where we have a broader area, what we can say, modern pharmaceutical practice, from there we just jump to the one particular technique on which we want to work, and then we had identify a particular medicine on which we will to conduct this experimentation or apply this particular technique for investigation. This is the process of narrowing down your title or identify your research area. Whether you are from any subject area or any particular area, you can do the similar type of thing. You start first identify your best subject in yours which you want to do the research. Okay. After that, you have to identify the particular topic or particular thing on which you want to think you are good. Then apply that particular thing on a particular specific item that is helpful for the society and that gives something new. This is the call the narrowing down your title area, and by this method you can identify your research problem. So for when it comes the question, then somebody asks you explain the process explain the process of identification of research problem. So you will start writing from where you just explain. First of all, we have to find out the broader area. On the basis of that, we will refine the problem and get the general general objectives of the problem. On the basis of that, we narrow down the thing so that we can capture specific details and further investigation on that narrowed part. We will further specify the particular item on which we exactly want to conduct the research. But all those things should be properly managed, properly in a writing form, so that at the end of the day, we will able to say this is my research problem and it has these number of scope or objectives that we will going to have. Whatever the research you will carry out, whatever the area you will going to be identified, there must be a first thing that you have to understand at the border area, what are the scope of that research and what are the chances of that research, what are the particular environment, particular resources available with you. Overall, the things when we are narrow down the thing, first of all, when we have a broader area, we know the subject. Under that subject, we have to identify the resources and our capabilities. Under the section 2, with the help of those resources, your capabilities, you further specify the problem that you want to address. Here, this is the process which is called the identification of research problem. Okay, so we know about first thing is scope. When you have a subject, with the help of that subject, you have to identify the scope of work that will come under the broader topic area. When you identify the scope that in this particular subject, we have a scope of work doing like this, like that, that means we can align our subject according to those scopes. Then further identify those scopes, which particular task we can perform with the help of limited resources which we have. For example, as the we take a pharmaceutical pharmacy example over here. in which we just identify the scope that we can do the research in this modern techniques or drug evaluation techniques. We can do the lots of work. We identify the scope of overall the work. Then what are the resources available with you? That is the most important thing. If there are some limitations, then you have to work over that, how to counter these limitations or how we can do the research to without getting fixed somewhere because of those limitations. To what research and those scopes having valid and available resources with you, and further what exactly the point you want to be concerned and resolve. These three things will comes up and give you a specific result area where you can chalk out your research. Now move to the next slide. Yeah. Hmm? क्या है उसमें? Sliding. It should be novel. That is the one thing. Now we start with the feasibility. That is the scope, particularly what I can say. With the explain your knowledge from your background, from your subject area, whatever the literature you had gone through during your masters, during your undergraduate studies, even though your school studies, in your jobs, whatever the problems you are facing. On the basis of that, you have to identify what are the feasible things available with you. With the help of that, you can do your research. Now, whatever the topic you are selecting, what is the relevance of that topic? Whether it is just relevant to academic, whether it is related to society or something else. Now, after getting that, you require to know about the novelty. What is the new thing you are doing? Okay. And last but most important thing, your interest. The first three things comes from anywhere, whether the feasibility, relevance, and novelty. Okay, these things explained by your supervisor. He may give you a title. Your friend, your colleague, your peer give you a title based on the feasibility, relevancy, and novelty. But the last and most important thing is the interest. That is how much researcher is motivated toward that particular research area. What exactly he want to do, whether he is interested or not. If you are not interested, these 3 points have no value. What exactly think? What exact the meaning of this? The selection of criteria. Do research only those field where you can give 100% respect, because you will not justify. First thing, your interest, your motivation toward the problem. On the basis of that, you can make novelty, you can go for the relevancy with the society and the feasibility. If you have an interest, you can make these 3 points. But if you don't have an interest, you just doing what others want, you just do just what I say, uh, general purpose thing to just get a degree and nothing. Okay. Now, another thing is the under selection criteria, literature review, identify the gaps, then the purpose, propose a novel approach, and finally consider the potential the contribution that you can make. That is again another way of identify the problem criteria. Now, the next thing, the defining the research problem. How we can define the research problem. This flow chart, this diagram help you out to understand. From you, anybody wants to explain this flow chart? How to define problem? Yeah, just give me. If you have some problem, how you will define it. Here the 4 items are written. One is the identify the causes. Second is effect. Fourth one is solution. Oh, sorry, third one is solution. And fourth one is the define. These are four aspects. It is the issue that to be defined of the any problem or related with the defining of the any problem. Just a minute. Sorry. So here, as you can see, you require to need and create awareness, no causes yet to determine controversial, environmental, political, social, economics, then the solution, the purpose of solution, compare the problem. These are the four aspects for which we can define the problem. Basically, whenever you go for the defining any problem, what exactly you require to understand what purpose it is solving, what effect it will creating, what is the process is involved to resolve it, okay, and what are the solutions are available to do this particular thing. Your identification of problem or your definition of problems means your research title when you will make it with the help of your problem that will consider few of things. That means what is the gap, what are the probable solution, and what is the method to arrange that, and what may be the final result of that, and how it will impact the society and all, so that with the help of that we can define a problem. So central issue of your problem or the problem definition, as this chart explaining you the environmental, political, what are the effects it may be create, so that depend upon your subject area, then the what are the solution you are going to be proposed. Okay, basically it is articulate the problem statement, that means the populations, variable settings, and what types of work you are going to be, that to be defined under your title or your definition of your problem or your problem state. Now, once you have a problem statement, your problem is clear, you identify your research area. The next step, the most important thing is to start from here, or you can say it is the second chapter of your thesis. That is the literature review. Even though it is helpful for your preparation of your introduction chapter as well. Now, what is literature review and what is the need of literature review? If I say first thing is here, the avoid the duplication. As I told you earlier, there are so many people who are thinking similar to me. If I say I have some problem, I identify some issue where I can research. And I thought that I am the first person who is doing so. And even though आप लोगों ने ये प्रॉब्लम बचपन में कई बार देखा होगा, कुछ चीज मिलती होगी, कुछ चीज नया होता होगा, तो आपको लगता होगा था कि मैं इसको जानने वाला पहला व्यक्ति हूँ या मैंने कुछ नया खोज लिया। जैसे छोटे छोटे बच्चे होते हैं, वो बहुत अमेज करते हैं अपने आप को, वो जाते हैं कमरे में से वो कुछ एक उठा के ले आते हैं, टेबल पे से पेन उठा लेते हैं, लिखना सीख लेते हैं, लिखने की कोशिश करते हैं, बहुत खुश होते हैं। दीवार पे लिखता है बच्चा, चौक जब लाइन बना देती है, कोयले से दीवार पे लिख देता है, तो बच्चा बहुत खुश होता है, उसको लगता है मैंने कोई नई चीज खोज ली है। बट ऐसा तो सब कोई करता है, पर उस बच्चे के लिए वो एक नई चीज होती है। बट एट द एज व्हेन वी आर डूइंग आवर रिसर्च, हमें इस डायल्यूशन में नहीं रहना है। Whenever you are thinking over a problem, you are identify something that this is the problem, start search over that problem, identify that somebody else is not doing the similar thing, because we have to provide something novel. We do not require to duplicate the thing. Review required to avoid another. The next thing is there, identify the gaps in knowledge. Okay, with the help of literature survey, you will able to identify the gaps. What are the basic gaps? If I say, अगर आप पूरा की पूरा मटेरियल अपना पढ़ते हैं, if you go through all the literature and material address, and that will definitely help to build your problem definition, your research methodology and all. And as well as it gives you third thing, that is the build the theoretical foundation. It's give us the all the basics that you require to know before you start the work. It will help you out to set the number of correlations, what type of tools you require, from where you can gather the information, from where you start your survey, how to use the statistical techniques, how to use the basic scientific instrumentations, and what type of instrumentation is required. These all things come from literature review. There may be a question in your examination: what is the need of literature review? You have to explain these 4 points only. If there are these, avoid duplicacy. Then second, identification of gap to build hypothesis and objective. It's help us to build a theoretical foundation about the subject. And finally, it's help us to refine the problem so that we can adhere to what exactly society or the academia demand. With the help of literature review, we can address all those. Now come to the next slide. The procedure of literature review. आप लोगों ने सभी ने एक चीज सुनी होगी बार बार, कीवर्ड्स। हर बार जब आप कोई पेपर देखते होंगे, जर्नल्स देखते होंगे, उसके नीचे हमको एब्स्ट्रैक्ट के नीचे लिखे हुए मिलते हैं कीवर्ड्स। आजकल डिजिटल मार्केटिंग बहुत चला हुआ है, सब कुछ बोलते हैं कि एसईओ करना है तो हमारे को कीवर्ड्स होने चाहिए। ये कीवर्ड्स होता क्या भला है? These keywords are those key items on which you are focused, and this will help you out to start search over your problem. For example, I take example from arts and humanity. You want to work over a novel of Amit Tripathi. Now Amit Tripathi become my keyword. Literature of Amit Tripathi become my second keyword. Amit Tripathi novel's name, if you know, then that become a third keyword. Okay, what type of thing he is doing? Like he is doing the lots of mythological type of writing. So mythology become my keyword. I come to the the guy has explained the pharmacy. So there the uh, techniques, modern medicinal techniques become my one of the keyword. HPCL might become one of the keyword. These are the keywords on which exactly I want to focus, and as per my scope of work, as per my definition, those things are aligned with your title or research area known as keyword. So first, you have to understand and identify all the keywords which are related to your work. Keyword is not just a one word, it's maybe phrases or combination of 2, 3 words. That is also known as keyword. But first, you have to identify what you have to type in your Google Scholar or your Google to identify or start your search journey. First, identify and define all the keywords. Next, create the database and with the help of search. You have to identify all the database across the globe using internet. You have to search all the journals and download all the paper or collect and print all those papers, journal articles, books which are related to your work. First, identify the keywords, then start search. With the help of that search, you have lots of database and lots of journals which are aligned with your title area. You have to download all those things, then read one by one each. And for reading, it's not required to read whole paper. You have to read their abstract only. That will help you out. With the help of abstract of each journal, abstract or preface of particular book, you will understand what exactly this book or this journal or this article, research article or research paper is whole about. On the basis of that, you can identify that whether it is aligned with your title or not. If you're finding that you downloaded over 1,000 of paper, and when you start filtering, there will be approximately 200 paper in your hand. Means 800 paper will be neglected. They are not required for your journey. Only 200 which are aligned with your work will be useful. After that, synthesize your finding. Now, what is the synthesize of your finding? Means you have to arrange these paper under particular sequence that for example, introducing the problem, first 3 papers are there. These paper are very good, who create a base, give the fundamentals of problem. Then for particular problems or particular area, that we have to categorize the paper for methodology point of view, database collection point of view, statistical method point of view, what particular paper, what particular item we are used, and proper definitions are covered from there. We have to arrange papers and the club paper accordingly, and on the basis of that, we will start to write the literature review. Then we will start the documentation of that. Then we have to, last but not least, that is a document reference properly. Means we have to identify which particular style of referencing your university is required, like MLA, APA, whatsoever, Vancouver, etc. On the basis of that, you have to start your documentation, make the numbering of your whole papers you had downloaded, all the general articles you had downloaded, and they are useful for your journey. So that whenever required, from where you pick the reference, you might mark over there. Up to this point, we are discussing of the literature review and the process of literature review. We know from this literature review, we will able to formulate the problem, we will able to identify the research gap, we will able to identify the objective and hypothesis. Now, I just give the just next thing that your syllabus allow me to do that. That is the research design and formation. When you come to the research design and format, that means the start particular setup, generation of particular setup or collection of particular data, identify the population, and all those things comes under that. Means what type of study you are doing, whether it is explanatory, descriptive, or the casual, what sample methods, random sampling, stratified sampling, convenience sampling, data collection, survey, interview, observation, tools, the questionnaire, checklist, software. Besides this, whether your method is the experimental type, whether you're practically you are developing some system, that depend upon subject to subject. On the basis of your research design will be there. What particular step you will take first. If you are going to establish some research setup, you have to identify the cost of product, availability of product, how to arrange those material, what quality of material you require, from where you will resource all those things. If you are working on literature, what type of literature you required, what type of general articles, what type of particular novels and books, etc. you required. If you are doing the survey type of thing, which particular demography you are going to be addressed, from where you, how you select the age and caste and trade and of the people for which you want to investigate. Overall, the procedure will depend upon your problem, how you will design everything, what comes first. For example, again, I just come to like say you want to survey on some social media sort of thing. What is the impact of social media in the present marketing strategy? So you have to first of all identify in which particular city, in which particular place you want to do this research, and which particular age group people you want to address. What is their social status, their financial status, what is their age group and all. So by this method, you will have to first identify the population demography of that particular city, that particular area where your research work will be conducted. Now for that, what steps will be taken? You have to design one by one. Then the next thing, once you identify the population, how to collect the sample, how to do the pilot study, then how to generate that questionnaire, how you justified your questionnaire or check your questionnaire. So these are the steps will be involved that you have to explain in a proper method. You have to design a particular proper method. That will be the next step. Next thing, the hypothesis and its importance. As I told you earlier, hypotheses are sometimes are assumption, or if I say scientifically, it's a prediction. If you are saying by doing this, it will happen, you are predicting that. The people from science, for example, I just take some chemistry student. If they are investigating on some particular substance or element or particular item, then they are predicting that by applying this in this particular salt to this particular salt, there may be explosion. So this explosion, what I say, there may be explosion. This explosion is my prediction. When I add these two salt, it will result in explosion. This is my prediction. When you actually add, what happened? that you will observe. Okay. Same way, you are predicting that if I add 50% ethanol to my petrol, my performance of my vehicle will improve. That is my prediction. What exactly happened? That will be solved. I will get after only experimentation on. Okay. So hypothesis is something that we want to predict. That what is the impact of social changes? What is the impact of particular work and etc. रखना है अब यही रख so what is the particular methods and what will be their impact? We initially predict only, and that prediction is basically hypothesis. If you have n number of objectives, so on the basis of those n objectives, you have n hypothesis also. Okay, it's help. Definitely, if we are connecting our objectives with hypothesis, or with the help of hypothesis, we are generating. Sorry, with the help of objective, we are generating hypothesis. Definitely, there are some variables, and we have to respond to all those variables. Okay, how these variables connect to each other, what are the relations in these variables, and how they precipitate it last. On the basis of that, we can say whether our hypothesis is justified or not. Once we have made some hypothesis, there may be chances that my hypothesis get failed. If my hypothesis is failed, we can say that is null hypothesis. So if there are always hypotheses, so for each and every hypothesis, there is a null hypothesis. That means it will become fail. Whatever you are saying in hypothesis, the negative is the null hypothesis. Now, procedure of formulation of hypothesis. We have to identify the variable. On the variable, based of that variable, we have to conduct a literature survey and arrange all variable and identify the parameter on the basis of literature survey. Consider the what are the cause and relationship. Based of the literature survey, we will make a relationship or correlation. And finally, we just have to ensure the testability. If we have some variable, then at the last we have some numerical value that should be over there that will be or that must be justified. If that is not over there, then we are not able to justify a hypothesis. Then it will remain only theoretical part. Okay. And last, we have to make a clear statement about the hypothesis. For example, by applying digital marketing in particular area or particular website, there will be growth of customer. That may be a particular hypothesis, but there is no assurity after applying your digital marketing techniques or digital marketing pattern, there will be growth in that particular customer rate or the purchase rate or anything. There must be a clear, a concise statement that explain what exactly this hypothesis will deliver. Okay, that you have to be explained here. By this method, first of all, identify the variable which you want to address. If there are the n number of variables, there will be the n hypothesis because you have to justify all. There must be a proper correlation between your all variables. Now, the conclusion and the key takeaways from here, the research foundational to be knowledge of practice. Scientific research follow the structural process, the proper problem identification and hypothesis building. Building is the crucial part of it. So whatever as today I explain you people, it's basically what is exact research, what are the what types of research is, how we can do the literature survey, what is the need of literature survey, what is hypothesis, and why hypothesis is required and other things is required. This is the something your first unit or first chapter of your research methodology. In tomorrow class, we will go with other sections and other part or says unit 2. Okay. From today's session, if you have any question. Our forum is open. If you have any questions, you can ask. Yeah, one thing that I have to showcase you people, what type of notes or material we will provide you. Just a minute. My screen is visible now. This type of statement will be
Yes,
available
sir.
to you in the simple manner. We will explain what meaning of research, significance of research, types of research. This type of theoretical framework will provide you. And as well as today, I will share one book with you, the Kothari's book with you that will help you out during the research. Do you have any question now? Any questions from anybody? Shall I close? If you have any comment, any feedback, you can give to Ritu ma'am. He will share with me. If you have any problem, you can share with Ritu ma'am. She share with me, and I will explain those things in my next class that will held tomorrow 4:30.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all of you for
Thank
patiently listening me. Bye bye.
thank you. Bye.